Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we'll be covering the top 5 guns for Season 11, courtesy on Stats on Duty. The seasonal balance changes dropped a while ago, and while the meta has barely changed, there are a couple of new additions. Let's get into our list, which is in no particular order, as these weapons are the very best in their own class. Starting our top 5 list are the Kilo 141 and the Crick 6, two ARs that are statistically very similar. We'll provide a breakdown for why they were chosen, first starting with the similarities. The initial damage ranges are respectable from both assault rifles, as they share competitive time to kill values, especially at medium ranges. Both weapons also have amazing base bullet spread accuracy values that augment their long-range lethality. They also share respectable ADS time values at 250 milliseconds, and this creates more opportunities for aggressive play. These amazing base attributes are further enhanced by detachment options, especially for the Crick. As for the individual performances, the Crick has been in the meta since its release, with an impressive base 4-shot kill range of 26 meters. It also has the potential to 3-shot kill up to 17 meters thanks to its 1.2 times chest multiplier. The same multiplier can also help achieve 4-shot kills up to 40 meters with just a single chest shot. After 40 meters, the weapon will never require more than 5 shots to kill. This keeps the performance consistent. The Crick has a bullet velocity value of 1100 meters per second, which adds an extra step in calculating its time to kill. The 5-shot time to kill, which happens above 40 meters, is 368 milliseconds, but the added bullet travel time can stretch this up to 401 milliseconds at 50 meters, and as high as 417 milliseconds above 50 meters. While this is a very competitive long-range time to kill when compared to the other meta assault rifles, the bullet travel mechanic will make it noticeably more difficult to connect shots at those ranges. That said, the 3-shot and 4-shot kill potentials do provide a competitive edge. The 3-shot time to kill clocks in at 187 milliseconds, achieved by landing 2 chest shots. This is actually faster than most SMGs, however this is only theoretical as the Crick does not have the ability to consistently 3-shot kill. The 4-shot time to kill is average at 276 milliseconds, but the potential to extend it up to 40 meters with just 1 chest shot is undoubtedly impressive. The attachments follow the Black Ops Cold War Gunsmith system, which offers jaw-dropping benefits with little to no penalties. The Crick already offers excellent damage and accuracy. This build utilizes the extended barrel to improve the weapon's bullet velocity for stronger performance at range. To improve its handling and mobility, we use the Striker foregrip, which increases movement and strafing speed, and the Foam grip tape, which allows for 25% faster aim down sight time and reduced flinch. Both attachments have very minimal penalties. The Agency Suppressor is the go-to option as its improved vertical recoil while offering sound suppression. Finally, the larger extended magazine increases your firing capacity, which is a big advantage when laying down suppressive fire or engaging in multiple gunfights at once. Overall, the Crick 6 has incredible potential and respectable consistency. Its dominance is sure to stay. As for the Kilo 141, it does not use the bullet velocity mechanic, and this allows for more build diversity. The weapon fulfills the role of a true assault rifle with its top-tier accuracy, controllable recoil, and great range values. Headshots are rewarding on this weapon, and often improve its lethality at nose ranges, but you do need to land more than one to make them useful. Unlike the Crick 6, the Kilo eventually drops to a 6-shot kill, and this makes the long-range time to kill worse than the Crick. However, it is not limited by the bullet velocity, and this makes it easier to land more shots. If we exclude the inconsistent 3-shot kill potential from the Crick, Kilo has a slightly faster time to kill within 40 meters, after which the Kilo will kill around 40 milliseconds slower. Mobility is slightly faster than the Crick, but it struggles to keep up in most other areas due to its standard gunsmith system. Bullet spread accuracy is the same as the Crick at 17 in-game points, which is 7.18 using the 11-point system. The Kilo 141 also has a unique 100-round magazine, which we advise against using. We might cover it in a future video. As our recommended build for the Kilo 141, we have the Monolithic Suppressor to improve our 4-shot kill range to just under 29 meters, and our 5-shot range to 47.5 meters. It also keeps us off the minimap. Next up is the Tac Laser, because it's simply one of the best attachments in the game. We have the 50-round extended magazine, but you may opt for the 40-round if you wish. No stock is not used to offset the combined penalties of the extended magazine and the Monolithic Suppressor. And finally, we use the granulated grip tape to offset the bullet spread penalty of the Mono Suppressor and the no stock. We end up with a build that has ADSs and strafe faster in the base weapon with improved range and accuracy. The cons are also quite minimal here, making it a well-balanced build. The Fennec's negative arm multiplier 0.8 times were neutralized, with the arms now doing base damage. This significantly increases the consistency of the 260 milliseconds 5-shot time to kill. The chest multipliers were also improved, thus providing the opportunity to secure 4-shot kills with just 2 chest shots. Assuming you achieve a 4-shot kill, your time to kill will be incredibly fast at 162 milliseconds, thanks to an insanely fast rate of fire of 1111 rounds per minute, second only to the MAC-10. With an initial range of 13 meters and a very tight hip fire cone, it completely dominates all other close quarter options. However, the Fennec isn't just a one-trick pony. It's also capable of achieving a fairly consistent 6-shot time to kill of 270 milliseconds up to 23 meters. This level of versatility elevates the Fennec from just dominating close quarters to a legitimate contender to the meta tier. The Fennec's mobility stats are all top of the line, however the sprint-to-fire delay is incredibly long, longer than every single light machine gun except the chopper. The recoil pattern is simple, being completely vertical with a slight lean to the left at the end. However, the magnitude and the climb rate makes controlling it a challenge outside of close quarters conditions. The Fennec is further weighed down with an extremely high flinch and mediocre bullet spread accuracy. These factors hinder the Fennec's versatility noticeably. Now let's go over our recommended build for the Fennec. Starting off with the operator full grip to reduce the recoil's magnitude. This can be swapped out for the rubberized grip tape if you would like to preserve some aim down sight speed. However, keep in mind that you already have mediocre base bullet spread accuracy, which will be weakened further. Next up is the 5 megawatt laser, which puts out abysmally slow sprint-to-fire time of 210 milliseconds to a more manageable 160 milliseconds. The 40-round magazine and mono-suppressor are used for obvious reasons. And the last attachment is something of an optional slot. A stock, an optic, or a barrel may be used here. To sum it up, the Fennec is currently the best aggressive fully automatic weapon available. It is essentially dethroned the MAC-10. Our next weapon on the list is the Holger 26. This light machine gun was once the harbinger of terror before it was eventually humbled by newer contents. Now it's back and better than ever, boasting an impressive 4-shot time to kill of 255 milliseconds up to 24 meters, and 5-shot time to kill of 340 milliseconds up to 50 meters. Easy recoil and the most cracked no-stock attachment in the game. It is no surprise the Holger made it back to the top. Furthermore, the bullet spread accuracy is best in its class at 20 points, which is a 6.5 on the 11-point system. When you put these qualities together, the Holger is primed to shred its way through Season 11. However, as it's an LMG, its mobility and handling stats are quite poor, making it less enticing as a run-and-gun option. The low-capacity mags fix the mobility issue but removes the core strength of the weapon, bastardizing it into a mediocre assault rifle. We recommend staying away from them. The no-stock attachment does a lot of heavy lifting for the Holger. It improves its strafing speed by 40%, enabling it to outstrafe assault rifles. With no stock equipped, you get a long-range machine capable of pumping out heavy damage while strafing fast enough to evade enemy fire. Let's talk about build. The Holger does not have access to range-enhancing barrels, so our only option is to use the mono suppressor. If you do not prioritize range boosting but still want suppression, the tactical suppressor is a good alternative. The other attachments are no stock, tac laser, and granulated grip tape, for obvious reasons. The final attachment is either the FMJ perk or the Sable perk for more consistent lethality. However, you may decide to swap this out for an optic of preference. If you like to sit back and use a light machine gun without being completely disadvantaged, the Holger is just for you. Although the CBR4 isn't as broken as it was a couple of seasons ago, it still retains the incredible consistency that granted its infamy in the past. Capable of achieving 4-shot time of 225 milliseconds up to 17 meters, and with aim down sight time on par with the hyper-aggressive SMGs at just 200 milliseconds, the CBR4 is still a force to be reckoned with. It is capped with a plentiful 50-round base magazine. Despite its ease of use, the CBR is not without weaknesses. Mobility is quite average on par with SMGs like the Bison. For example, its strafing speed is on the slower side, only being slightly faster than the base HE40. The bullet spread accuracy score is pitiful at 28 points, which is 4.71 on the 11-point system. Failing to achieve the 4-shot kill leaves the user with an underwhelming 300 milliseconds 5-shot time to kill. As for our recommended build, we start off with a tac laser for obvious reasons. Lightstock improves strafing speed and lowers sprint-to-fire time. Granulated grip tape counters the poor base bullet spread accuracy. Extended light barrel is used in combination with a mono suppressor to, well, improve the damage range. Alternatively, the marksman barrel can be used in place of the extended light barrel, and a mono suppressor is swapped out for a tactical suppressor, giving slightly more bullet spread accuracy for slightly less mobility. Overall, the CBR4 is a great and reliable SMG. With solid consistency, it most definitely will not disappoint on any day of the week. The SKS hasn't left the meta since its release. Flaunting a reasonably consistent 2-shot kill time to kill of 165 milliseconds up to 40 meters, the SKS is the master at holding down power positions. Now, although the lethality stats are incredible, it is important to keep in mind that this is a semi-automatic weapon, making its performance entirely reliant on the user's trigger finger and aim. The rate of fire is also capped at 362 rounds per minute, and reaching the cap is not practical for the average user. The consistency also plummets after 40 meters, leading to an increased frequency of 3-shot kills. As a marksman rifle, its mobility and handling stats are quite poor, just barely better than that of light machine guns, which makes it even less versatile. The SKS is definitely not the easiest weapon to use on the list, but if you are able to use it effectively, its performance is unparalleled. For our recommended build, we start off with a Tactical Suppressor. The Mono Suppressor may also be used to extend our damage range, however we'll be utilizing the Extended Light Barrel for that purpose. If you would like increased mobility, the Light Barrel can be used instead. Next, we use Stalker Stock and Granulated Grip Tape for some much needed flinch resistance. For the final attachment, you could go with the Tactical Foregrip A for added flinch resistance. The Disable Weapon perk is also a great pick to increase consistency. The extended mag is not necessary due to the slower fire rate and its 20 round base capacity. On the SKS, the Tac Laser does not provide sufficient boost to justify a visible laser, so it's not really useful either. That's all for this video. Hopefully this provided a better understanding of the current meta weapons. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Going Doc.